Okay, so I started over. So carrying on with that whole thing is the last piece is like an interactive piece. It's using Adobe Flash ActionScript, and what you're seeing here is the statistics from 2008. How many of these products, how many plastic bags, how many cigarette filters, how many pounds of farm chemicals, and how many plastic water bottles were produced in 2008, and it has programming applied to it that my friend Sean Novak helped me out with. And the idea is that it started at 0 the Tuesday morning that the show opened, and it's been like, I guess, 2.5, 3 weeks since the show is open, and those numbers are real, and they are in real time, counting up. And if you notice, it kind of also is laid out the same way that the show itself is laid out. So it's broken down into quadrants, like the gallery is broken down into quadrants. So we got the cigarette filters there, and the water bottles here, and the plastic bags are up here, and the farm chemicals are up here. So give you some idea how that stuff is laid out. And it's just a computer that is sitting on the pedestal and running on a projector. So and one last thing that I wanted to include too is I got my start in this thesis process trying to work surfing into the thesis because I'm an avid surfer. So this is remnants of how I got into this whole, and it speaks to the topic of it. These are actual debris that have been collected by me personally off the beaches here, and this is just a small sample of a large box of stuff that I've collected over a couple weeks. And it doesn't take long, like one of these glass jars here, this amount of plastic, I would say you could pick up on a South Florida beach. You could fill that jar in about 40 minutes easily. It seems to be, to me, that there's more plastic debris on the beach these days than shells and things like that, but all of these things share in common that they're plastics that are made from petrochemicals, and all they're going to do is break down into smaller pieces that are then going to just sit in the sand and in the ocean for years. It's going to take hundreds of thousands of years for them to totally biodegrade. So it's really about how the choice, that's why the show is called Consume. It's really about these choices that we make. We buy these things because they're easy and they're cheap and they're disposable. And we give little thought to where they end up after our short amount of time that we interact with them. The farm chemicals fit into that story because they're also made from petrochemicals. They don't absorb into water, so when it rains and the chemicals run off in our canals, they end up out into the ocean and other bodies of water where they come in contact with these plastics. And because oil doesn't mix with water, it doesn't absorb into the water, but when it comes in contact with the plastic debris that are out there, and there goes the cigarette again, it actually absorbs rather easily into the plastic debris. Now, the literature that I read said that, and I find it to be true, is when you go and pick up a lot of these plastic pieces, the smaller pieces, like the ones in here, is you find very little red, oranges, and pinks in color. And it's not because they don't manufacture those colors, it's because when the pieces get small enough, birds and fish eat them because they think that they're shrimp or eggs. So they eat these highly concentrated toxic pieces, and then we eat the animals, and then we have the chemicals inside of us. So that's kind of an overview of my show. So I'm going to do one more of these without any audio so that you don't have to listen to me blabber on about it. I'll just do a walkthrough, and it gives you some idea of what it was like to be here. Also, this is kind of a thank you to the people that had helped me through the years. Go back out to this introductory area.